Welcome to my channel English Achievement. If you like my video, please like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. What if I told you that anxiety is not here to destroy you? What if I told you that anxiety is not a weakness, not a disease, and not a curse? What if the very thing you are trying to escape is actually the thing that can change your life forever? Most people spend their whole lives running away from anxiety. They try to silence it. They try to numb it. They try to kill it with distractions, addictions, and excuses. But what if anxiety is not your enemy? What if anxiety is your body and mind trying to wake you up? On English Achievement, we believe that understanding anxiety is the first step to transforming it into power. Stay with me until the end, because today you will learn something most people never understand. Anxiety is power if you know how to use it. Part 1: Why anxiety feels so scary. Anxiety feels uncomfortable, and that is the first reason people become afraid of it. When anxiety appears, your heart starts beating faster, as if your body is preparing for something dangerous. Your chest may feel tight, your breathing becomes shallow, and your muscles feel tense. Inside your mind, thoughts begin to race. One thought quickly turns into another, and before you know it, you are imagining the worst possible future again and again. Even when nothing bad is happening in front of you, your body reacts as if danger is already there. This gap between reality and feeling makes anxiety feel confusing and frightening. Because anxiety feels so intense, people quickly label it as something bad. Society teaches us that comfort is normal and discomfort is wrong. So when anxiety shows up, doctors often try to remove it. People around you tell you to calm down. And friends say things like, "Don't think too much," or "just relax." These words sound helpful, but they send a hidden message. There is something wrong with you for feeling this way. Over time, you start to believe that anxiety itself is the problem. Something shameful that must be pushed away or hidden. But anxiety did not come from nowhere. Anxiety is not random, and it is not a mistake of nature. It exists for a very real reason. Long ago, anxiety played an important role in human survival. When early humans sensed danger, anxiety warned them. It sharpened their focus, increased their strength, and prepared their body to act quickly. That same fast heartbeat and alert mind helped them escape threats and stay alive. Anxiety was not an enemy. It was a protector. The real problem today is not anxiety itself. The problem is that modern life has taught you to fear your own feelings. You were taught that being calm all the time means you are healthy, successful, and strong. No one taught you how to understand emotional signals or listen to your inner state. Instead, you were taught to suppress, distract, or fight anything that feels uncomfortable. So, when anxiety appears, you panic about the feeling instead of understanding it. You were never taught how to listen to anxiety with curiosity and awareness. You were only taught how to resist it. And when you fight something inside yourself, it naturally grows stronger. Anxiety feels scary not because it is dangerous, but because you were never shown how to work with it. Part 2: Anxiety is energy, not a problem. Here is a truth most people never hear and rarely understand. Anxiety is not a problem. Anxiety is energy. It is stored emotional and mental energy moving inside your body and mind. When this energy has no direction, it feels overwhelming. It shakes your thoughts, tightens your chest, and makes your body restless. But the discomfort does not mean the energy is bad. It only means the energy is unused or misunderstood. When anxiety is not expressed, it changes form. When you don't express this inner energy, it slowly turns into fear. Fear keeps you frozen and unsure. When you try to suppress anxiety, pretending it does not exist, the energy has nowhere to go. So it becomes panic. Panic is anxiety trapped inside the body with no release. And when you completely ignore anxiety, pushing it down again and again, it turns into long-term suffering. The pain grows quietly until it affects your confidence, sleep, and peace of mind. But something powerful happens when you stop fighting this energy and start using it. When you give anxiety a purpose, it becomes fuel. The same energy that once scared you can push you forward. Anxiety is movement inside you asking to be directed. It wants action, expression, and growth. Once you understand this, anxiety no longer feels like a curse. It becomes a source of strength. Think about this carefully. Why do anxious people often think more deeply than others? Why do they imagine many possible futures, both good and bad? Why do they notice small details that others easily miss? The answer is simple. Anxiety sharpens awareness. An anxious mind is constantly scanning, observing, and preparing. This heightened awareness is not weakness. It is sensitivity and intelligence working together. Your anxiety means that you care deeply. You do not live on the surface of life. You think about meaning, consequences, and direction. Your anxiety also means you are alert. Your mind is awake, not asleep. You notice changes in people, situations, and yourself. It also means you are sensitive. You feel emotions strongly, both your own and others. And finally, it means you are mentally active. Your mind is powerful, always moving, always searching. These qualities are not flaws to be fixed. They are raw materials for greatness. When guided properly, this energy can turn into creativity, discipline, insight, and purpose. Anxiety is not here to destroy you. It is here to be shaped into something meaningful. Part 3. Stop asking, "How do I remove anxiety?" Most people ask the wrong question when anxiety enters their life. The moment they feel uneasy, restless, or afraid, their first thought is, "How do I stop this feeling?" They search for ways to remove anxiety as quickly as possible. They ask, "How do I stop anxiety? How do I remove anxiety?" Or even, "How do I kill anxiety forever?" These questions come from fear, not understanding. They assume anxiety is an enemy that must be destroyed before life can move forward. But the right question is very different. Instead of asking how to remove anxiety, a wiser question is, what is my anxiety trying to tell me? Anxiety does not appear randomly. It appears when something inside you is out of balance. It shows up when your inner world and outer life are not aligned. When the life you are living does not match the truth you feel inside. Anxiety rises to get your attention. Anxiety often appears when you are living smaller than your potential. You may think big dreams, imagine a better future, and feel a strong desire to grow. But your actions stay safe and limited. This inner conflict creates tension. Anxiety is born from the gap between who you are and who you know you could become. It also appears when you ignore your inner voice for too long. Deep inside, you often know what changes you need to make, but fear, comfort, or habit keeps you silent. Anxiety becomes the voice that refuses to stay quiet. Anxiety is a message, and every message has meaning. If you feel anxious about your future, it may be because your present life is not honest with your true desires. If you feel anxious around people, it may be because you are pretending, pleasing others, or hiding parts of yourself to be accepted. If anxiety visits you at night when everything is quiet, it may be because your soul is asking for direction, purpose, or truth that you have been avoiding during the day. When you fight anxiety, you miss its message. When you try to silence it, you delay growth. Anxiety is not asking you to run. It is asking you to look closer. Listen carefully without judgment. The moment you stop fighting anxiety and start listening, it begins to guide you instead of control you. Part 4: Anxiety and Untapped Potential. Many highly successful people experienced intense anxiety long before the world ever saw their success. Writers who changed how people think, thinkers who questioned reality, leaders who carried heavy responsibility, and creators who brought new ideas into the world often lived with deep inner tension. From the outside, their achievements look confident and powerful, but inside many of them struggled with anxiety. This is not a coincidence. Anxiety and potential are often connected. Anxiety tends to appear right before growth. When you are about to change, anxiety shows up to test you. When you are about to level up in life, anxiety increases. When you are about to leave your comfort zone, anxiety does not whisper, it screams. It fills your mind with doubt, fear, and questions. This moment feels dangerous, and your body reacts as if you are about to make a mistake. In reality, you are about to step into something unfamiliar and meaningful. Most people turn back at this exact point. They feel the discomfort and immediately believe it is a warning sign. They say, "This feeling means I should stop," or "This anxiety means I am not ready." So they retreat into comfort, routine, and safety. Their potential stays locked inside them, not because they lack ability, but because they misunderstand the signal. They confuse growth anxiety with real danger. Strong people understand something different. They learn through experience that this feeling often means they are close to transformation. They realize that anxiety is not blocking the path. It is standing at the entrance. The closer you get to change, the louder anxiety becomes. Not because you are weak, but because what you are about to do matters. Growth always asks for courage, and courage always awakens anxiety. Anxiety is like pressure deep inside the earth. Without pressure, diamonds would never form. In the same way, without inner pressure, most people would never grow beyond who they already are. Anxiety pushes you to think deeper, prepare more carefully, and take your responsibilities seriously. It forces you to look inward and question your limits. Your anxiety may be proof of untapped potential waiting to be shaped. Instead of asking why you feel anxious, ask what kind of person you are becoming. The pressure you feel today may be shaping the strength you will need tomorrow. Part 5: The difference between fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety are often confused, but they are not the same. Fear has a clear object. It appears when there is a real and immediate threat in front of you. A lion chasing you, a fast car about to hit you, or a sudden dangerous situation. This is fear. Fear is sharp, direct, and short-lived. Once the danger passes, fear usually disappears. It does its job, and then lets go. Anxiety is different. Anxiety is fear without direction. It does not point to one clear danger standing in front of you. Instead, it spreads through your thoughts and imagination. It worries about what might happen, what could go wrong, or what may never come. Because anxiety has no clear enemy, your mind keeps searching. This is why anxiety feels overwhelming. You are trying to fight something invisible. When fear appears, you know what to do. You run, protect yourself, or move away from danger. But when anxiety appears, there is no clear action. So your body stays tense and alert for a long time. This long-lasting alert state drains your energy and confuses your mind. You feel tired, restless, and stuck even though nothing is happening around you. This is not because you are weak, but because anxiety has no direction. The moment you give anxiety direction, everything begins to change. Anxiety becomes powerful when it is guided toward action. Action gives your anxious energy a place to go. Even small actions help. Writing one page, making one decision, practicing one skill, or taking one step forward tells your nervous system that you are no longer helpless. The energy that once turned into worry now turns into movement. Anxiety without action becomes suffering. The energy stays trapped inside, turning into endless thinking and self-doubt. But anxiety with action becomes progress. Each action, no matter how small, transforms fear into confidence. You may still feel anxious, but now the anxiety works for you instead of against you. Action does not remove anxiety instantly, but it trains your mind to trust itself. Over time, your anxiety learns a new role, not to paralyze you, but to push you forward. Part 6. Action is the cure you were avoiding. Here is a simple truth that many people avoid accepting. Anxiety hates movement. Anxiety grows in stillness, not in action. When you sit alone with your thoughts and overthink the same problems again and again, anxiety becomes louder. Your mind starts creating stories, imagining worst-case futures, and replaying old mistakes. The more you sit still, the more powerful anxiety feels. It feeds on hesitation and silence. Avoidance makes anxiety even stronger. When you avoid difficult conversations, important decisions, or meaningful work, anxiety learns that fear controls you. Every time you delay something because it feels uncomfortable, anxiety grows a little bigger. Delay tells your mind this is dangerous even when it is not. Over time, anxiety multiplies not because the problem is huge but because you keep stepping away from it. But something powerful happens when you act even imperfectly. Anxiety weakens the moment you move. This does not happen because the problem suddenly disappears. It happens because your brain sees courage. Action sends a clear message to your nervous system. I am not helpless. Even a small step changes the inner story from fear to strength. Your body relaxes slightly. Your thoughts slow down and confidence begins to grow. Action does not have to be perfect or big. Small actions are enough. Simple steps are enough. Sending one message, writing one paragraph, practicing for 5 minutes, or showing up when you feel unsure. These actions break the cycle of fear. Daily movement trains your mind to trust you. It teaches your anxiety that you can handle discomfort without falling apart. This is how you turn anxiety into an ally instead of an enemy. Each time you choose action over avoidance, you reshape your inner response. Anxiety still appears, but it no longer controls you. It becomes a signal to move, not a reason to freeze. Over time, your nervous system learns a new pattern. Discomfort leads to action, not panic. When you stop waiting to feel ready and start moving anyway, anxiety begins to work for you. Movement becomes medicine. Action becomes proof of strength. And slowly anxiety transforms from a problem into a powerful guide. Forward. Part 7. Anxiety and discipline. Anxiety gives you energy, but discipline gives that energy direction. This is a powerful relationship that most people never learn to use. Anxiety by itself feels messy and overwhelming. It pushes thoughts in many directions at once, creating confusion and inner noise. But when discipline enters the picture, that same anxious energy becomes organized and useful. Discipline does not remove anxiety. It guides it. Without discipline, anxiety turns into chaos. Your mind jumps from one worry to another. You start many things but finish nothing. You feel busy but unproductive. This is not because you lack ability but because your energy has no structure. Anxiety without discipline is like a strong river without banks. It floods everything and destroys focus. With discipline, anxiety becomes focus. Discipline creates boundaries for your energy. It tells your mind where to go and what to work on. When you wake up earlier, anxiety turns into preparation instead of worry. When you prepare better, anxiety becomes readiness instead of fear. When you practice more, anxiety sharpens your skills instead of weakening your confidence. Anxiety can push you to think deeper. It makes you question details others ignore. With discipline, this deep thinking becomes problem-solving instead of overthinking. You begin to improve your skills not because you feel calm but because you feel driven. Anxiety reminds you that improvement matters. Discipline makes sure that reminder turns into action. Many calm people move slowly through life. They are relaxed, but they are not always sharp. Anxious people, on the other hand, often see more, think more, and care more. When disciplined, this becomes a powerful advantage. Anxiety keeps you alert. Discipline keeps you consistent. Together they create progress. If you stop running from anxiety and start structuring your days, anxiety becomes a tool. It wakes you up earlier, pushes you to prepare better, and motivates you to practice more. Over time, you become sharper, more focused, and more capable. Anxiety does not disappear, but it transforms with discipline. It becomes one of your greatest strengths instead of your greatest struggle. Part 8. Stop comparing your mind to others. One of the biggest mistakes anxious people make is comparing their mind to the minds of others. You look at people who seem naturally calm and relaxed, and you wonder why your thoughts move so fast. Some people are naturally calm. Their minds are quiet, steady, and peaceful. Others are naturally anxious. Their minds are active, sensitive, and constantly aware. Neither type is better or worse. They are simply different. But society often praises calmness and misunderstands anxiety, which makes anxious people feel broken. A calm mind is good for peace. It helps people enjoy the moment, feel relaxed, and move through life without much inner conflict. But an anxious mind is good for creation. It questions reality, imagines possibilities, and feels deeply. Many inventions, ideas, and works of art came from minds that could not stay quiet. An anxious mind notices what is missing and imagines what could be better. This is not a flaw. It is a creative force. You were not designed to be average. You were designed to be aware. Awareness brings sensitivity, and sensitivity brings depth. You feel things more strongly because your mind is tuned in, not asleep. When you compare yourself to calmer people, you judge yourself by the wrong standard. You are measuring depth by surface-level calm. That comparison will always make you feel small, even when you are not. Do not envy people who feel nothing. Many of them live comfortable lives, but also shallow ones. They avoid discomfort, avoid questioning, and avoid growth. Feeling deeply can be painful, but it is also meaningful. Depth comes with responsibility, awareness, and sometimes anxiety. But it also brings purpose, insight, and connection. You feel deeply because you are meant to live deeply. Your emotions are not accidents. Your intensity is not a mistake. When you accept your mental nature instead of fighting it, you stop wasting energy on comparison. You begin to use your awareness as a gift. Your mind may never be quiet, but it can be powerful, creative, and wise when you learn to respect it. Part 9. Anxiety as a signal for growth. Every time anxiety appears in your life, it is a signal, a message, and an opportunity. The next time you feel that familiar tension in your chest or racing thoughts in your mind, stop for a moment and ask yourself a few simple but powerful questions. What am I avoiding? What truth am I ignoring? What step am I afraid to take? Anxiety is rarely random. It often points directly to the place in your life where growth is waiting, where change is necessary, or where courage is required. The discomfort you feel is a guide, not a punishment. Think about it carefully. Why does anxiety feel so heavy, so pressing, so impossible to ignore? It is uncomfortable because it is telling you something important. Growth is uncomfortable. Transformation is uncomfortable. If life never stretched you, never challenged you, you would remain the same person forever. Anxiety appears precisely at the edge of your comfort zone. It knocks on the door of change, demanding your attention, pushing you to step forward even when it is difficult. That pressure is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It is a sign that something is waiting for you to awaken inside. Many people make the mistake of thinking that anxiety means they are weak or broken. They believe that because their body and mind feel tense, something is wrong with them. But this is a misunderstanding. Your anxiety is not broken. Your comfort zone is the safe, familiar patterns you cling to no longer serve the life you want to live. Anxiety is the voice of your inner self telling you that staying still will not get you where you need to go. It is urging you to confront reality, take responsibility, and move toward growth. Every successful person has felt anxiety before achieving something meaningful. It signals that you are about to expand, that you are about to stretch your limits. Ignoring anxiety keeps you small. Listening to it, understanding it, and acting on it allows you to grow. The discomfort you feel is temporary, but the lessons you learn and the strength you gain from facing it are permanent. Anxiety is a compass pointing you toward the exact direction your life needs to move. By respecting it and responding with courage, you transform anxiety from a source of fear into a powerful signal for growth. The next time anxiety knocks, do not run. Ask the questions. Face the truth. Take the step. Your life will expand in ways you never imagined. Part 10. Turning anxiety into strength. Practical way. Turning anxiety into strength may seem impossible at first, but it can be done with a few simple and practical steps. The first step is to name the anxiety. Give it a clear identity. For example, say to yourself, I feel anxious about my future, or I feel anxious about this meeting. Naming your anxiety brings it into awareness. It transforms a vague, overwhelming feeling into something concrete that you can understand and work with. When you clearly identify your anxiety, it stops running in the shadows of your mind and you gain the first sense of control. The next step is to accept it. Stop judging yourself for feeling anxious. Many people make the mistake of criticizing themselves when anxiety appears. They say, "Why am I like this?" Or, "I shouldn't feel this way." Judgment only adds more tension and feeds the anxiety. Acceptance means acknowledging the feeling without resistance. It means saying, "This is what I feel and it is okay." Acceptance is not giving up. It is simply allowing your mind and body to recognize the energy without fighting it. Once you accept anxiety, it begins to lose its power over you. The third step is to move your body. Anxiety is energy and energy needs movement. Walking, exercising, or even breathing deeply helps release the tension stored in your body. Simple physical movement signals to your nervous system that you are taking action, not avoiding the feeling. Movement calms the mind and channels anxious energy into productive activity. The faster your heart beats and the deeper your breaths, the more you teach your body that anxiety is something you can work with rather than something that controls you. The fourth step is to take one small action. It could be sending a single email, writing one page, making a phone call, or completing one task you have been avoiding. Even small steps break the cycle of inaction and transform anxious energy into progress. Each step, no matter how tiny, creates momentum and demonstrates to your mind that you are capable of responding to your anxiety. Finally, repeat these steps daily. Consistency turns practice into habit. Over time, naming, accepting, moving, and acting on your anxiety transforms it from a source of stress into a powerful engine for growth. Anxiety is no longer something that controls you. It becomes a tool that propels you forward. With this simple, practical method, you can turn fear and tension into clarity, energy, and unstoppable momentum. Part 11. Anxiety and purpose. People without purpose often feel empty. Their days pass by without energy, without focus, and without urgency. Life feels flat, predictable, and safe. They may appear calm on the outside, but there is no spark driving their actions. Their minds are quiet because there is little at stake. In contrast, people with purpose almost always feel some level of anxiety. This may seem strange because society tells us that calmness is a sign of success or peace. But anxiety is not the opposite of purpose. It is one of its companions. Purpose demands attention, focus, and energy. And anxiety is the body's way of signaling that something important is happening. Why do people with purpose feel anxious? It is because purpose comes with responsibility. When you have a goal, a vision, or a calling, your mind and body are aware of what is at stake. Every decision matters. Every delay has consequences. Your nervous system reacts to this awareness, creating the familiar tension and alertness we call anxiety. This is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are awake. Purpose demands growth, and growth is uncomfortable. To become who you are meant to be, you must push beyond your limits, face uncertainty, and navigate challenges. Anxiety appears as a signal that you are stepping into something meaningful. Purpose also demands courage. Every step toward your dreams exposes you to risk, criticism, or failure. The discomfort you feel, the racing heart, the restless thoughts, the hesitation is your mind and body telling you that you are moving forward. Your anxiety may actually be proof that your life is calling for more meaning, more truth, and more direction. It is your internal compass pointing toward the path that aligns with your deepest values and desires. The next time you feel anxious about your work, your goals, or your life direction, do not run from it. Recognize it as a signal that your life is not meant to be small, safe, or ordinary. Your anxiety is evidence that your life wants more purpose, more growth, more courage. Instead of fearing anxiety, see it as a guide. Follow it thoughtfully, and it will lead you closer to the meaningful life you are meant to live. Part 12. You are not weak. You are sensitive. Many people misunderstand sensitivity and equate it with weakness. They see someone who feels deeply or reacts strongly to emotions and immediately assume they are fragile or incapable. But sensitivity is not weakness. It is the intelligence of emotion. It is the ability to perceive, feel, and understand experiences at a deeper level. Sensitivity allows you to notice subtleties that others miss. It gives you the capacity to think critically, feel profoundly, and connect with the world in meaningful ways. It is a gift, not a flaw. Anxious people are often more sensitive than others. They feel others deeply, noticing emotions, moods, and unspoken signals that most people ignore. They think ahead, imagining multiple possibilities and preparing for outcomes that others never consider. They question reality, always seeking truth rather than accepting surface appearances. And they seek meaning in life, looking for purpose in every action, decision, and relationship. These qualities, often labeled as burdens, are actually signs of a strong inner world. They indicate that your mind and heart are actively engaged with life, not passively drifting through it. The challenge is that no one taught you how to manage this sensitivity. Society often rewards calmness and discourages intensity. People tell sensitive individuals to relax, stop overthinking, or just let it go, implying that their emotional intelligence is a problem. Over time, sensitive people are made to feel broken for what is actually their strength. They may try to suppress their awareness, hide their depth, or act less intensely to fit in. But this only creates inner tension and anxiety. Now you know the truth. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a powerful tool. It allows you to notice what is important, to anticipate challenges, and to understand both yourself and others at a profound level. When you learn to manage it, channel it, and respect it, your sensitivity becomes a source of insight, creativity, and strength. Anxiety is part of this sensitivity. Signal that your inner world is alive and engaged. You are not weak. You are aware, intelligent, and capable. By embracing your sensitivity, you unlock one of your greatest strengths and learn to navigate life with clarity and purpose. Part 13. The final shift. The final shift in your relationship with anxiety begins with your words. Stop saying, "I suffer from anxiety." This phrase positions you as a victim, powerless and controlled by your emotions. Every time you speak this way, you reinforce the idea that anxiety dominates your life. Instead, start saying, "I have strong emotional energy." This simple change in language rewires your perception. It transforms anxiety from a burden into a resource. You begin to see it not as something that attacks you, but as energy that can be directed, shaped, and used to your advantage. Stop fighting yourself. Stop blaming your mind for being overactive, restless, or sensitive. Anxiety is not a mistake. It is a natural signal that your mind and body are alive, aware, and engaged. The struggle comes not from anxiety itself, but from your resistance to it. When you fight against your feelings, they grow stronger. When you blame yourself for them, they become heavier. The real obstacle is avoidance, not anxiety. Avoidance tells your nervous system that fear controls you, and it strengthens the cycle of tension and stress. Start working with your mind instead of against it. Learn to recognize anxiety as a guide rather than an enemy. Observe what it tells you. Identify the energy it creates and channel that energy into meaningful action. Every anxious thought, every wave of tension is an opportunity to respond with courage, focus, and growth. The more you practice this, the more anxiety becomes a signal of potential rather than a signal of danger. Anxiety is not your enemy. Avoidance, inaction, and resistance are. Once you understand this, everything changes. The discomfort you once feared now becomes a compass pointing toward your next step. Your energy is no longer wasted on worry or paralysis. It becomes a tool for awareness, discipline, and progress. The final shift is simple but profound. Stop fighting, stop blaming, and start using your emotional energy. In doing so, you transform anxiety from a source of suffering into a powerful force that fuels growth, clarity, and purpose in every area of your life. Closing message. One day you will look back and realize something shocking. The anxiety you once hated was not your enemy. It was the force that pushed you forward. Every racing thought, every restless moment, every sleepless night was preparing you for something greater. Anxiety made you think more deeply than you ever imagined. It made you prepare for challenges before they arrived. It made you search for meaning when the world around you seemed empty or shallow. What once felt like a weakness was actually a hidden strength waiting for you to recognize it. You were never broken. You were untrained. You were given energy and sensitivity that needed guidance, focus, and direction. Now, as you learn to work with it rather than against it, you begin to understand your power. On English Achievement, we teach that growth comes through awareness, courage, and discipline. And anxiety is a crucial part of that journey. Remember this: calm waters do not make strong sailors, and calm minds do not always make great lives. Your anxiety is fire. It can either consume you or illuminate your path. The choice is yours. Learn to control it, channel it, and embrace it. And it will no longer hold you back. It will become the guiding flame that lights the way to the life you were meant to live. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more such videos. Thanks for watching.